My name is Abby. I work for Thales. We're in the defence sector, based in Australia. In the head office is in Sydney, and my role is the HR Director for Learning and OD. It has meant that the plan for 2020 has completely shifted. We had three pillars of we owned 3 out of the 6 pillars of the Thales Australia strategy, and we're set to deliver those across this year and next year. And so obviously the Thales Australia strategy has changed, but also the HR strategy has changed, which has meant that my team has been redeployed onto other projects and pieces of work. So we've gone from a team of 10, and there's sort of 4 of us still in the team at the moment. So everybody's still has a role and still is within the HR function, which is good news. But it has completely shifted our deliverables and our plan of attack for this year. I think the biggest challenge for me is not the challenge that I was expecting. So the challenge has been really to rally my team around this piece of work. I probably expected them to understand the business landscape and have a slightly more commercial acumen. Their response to the situation and to being displaced in different roles has been quite a personal response. So I have had to do a lot of hand-holding, a lot of conversations, a lot of check-ins, a lot of coaching, a lot of, painting the picture of how long we expect this change to be in place and what that looks like and how we will get the team back together. So given that they're OD professionals, I probably expected not to have to do so much coaching and hand-holding. But, I guess it just goes to show that people react differently to change and work their way through the change curve, at such a different pace. So the connections, I feel like the connections to the team are there, even though most of them are displaced onto other roles. We still communicate regularly through WhatsApp, through Zoom. I've got a Zoom at 12 o'clock with them today. And email, so I'm still really communicating and cascading messages to them. So the connection hasn't changed so much. What we're struggling with is the collaboration. So we're used to standing around a whiteboard and brainstorming ideas, and we've tried some online tools like Trello and Klaxoon, but it's actually not the same as standing around debating something. So it's the collaboration that we're missing, not so much the connection. I probably that just around resilience, and I'm not given the feedback at home and in my personal life that I'm a calm individual, but at work, that's interestingly how I'm perceived sometimes. So that's been interesting to reflect on, and has generated quite a good laugh at home around that. Because I'm seen as someone who is resilient and calm and will just get the job done and can be trusted to deliver. So that's probably been the biggest piece of feedback, and understanding that we're a business at the end of the day, and none of this is personal. It is what it is. And so being able to manage that, and also manage the team, and then not let everyone else see how much work that's taking, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to protect the team's brand. And so yeah, it's been interesting. We had individuals that employees that swore they could not do their job from home, that they needed to be on site. And in terms of moving them off site when the pandemic first, was in its infancy stages, they just refused to work from home. They couldn't understand it. They didn't want to leave the site. And so that's been fascinating to watch people realise that they can do their job and do their job well from home. And I imagine now getting them back into the workforce is going to be just as big a challenge, because they've realised that they can do it. So that's sort of, we have 3 generations on some of our sites. They have worked at Tallis their whole life. Their brothers, their father worked at Tallis. They've got sons and nephews and nieces that work there. So in some of those small regional communities, that strong sense of community and family is at work as well. But yeah, I have enjoyed watching people realise that we are far more agile and flexible than they probably realised. And yes, we are facing that challenge of now getting people back back to the workforce. But it's been interesting to watch that process. Probably feel a stronger sense of connection, because working through this process, work is what gives me routine and structure. And I actually look forward to starting the day. I love that I have flexibility around when that process starts, you know, in terms of school drop off and bits and pieces, but it actually gives me structure and routine and a meaning. Otherwise, you know, I have a lot of friends that are not working at the moment and are really struggling with being at home with children. But I've also watched that, you know, Zach and I still working has given that sense of structure and routine to the kids. So I think as a family, it's been really important for us. So I feel probably more engaged than ever. I do have questions though around, you know, we had such a strong team. We'd worked so hard to get to where we were. We'd finally got, you know, 50% of the Tallis Australia strategy was ours. So whilst I feel more engaged and more connected, I am really interested to see how we get back to normal. We'll get back to sort of that plan. Otherwise, it's going to feel like it was taken from underneath us. So I think that'll be interesting over the next 6 months.